Hello, welcome to WPForms Africa. In this video, we're going to look at everything you need to know about styling your forms in WPForms. And for this, we're going to look at the form style that is in the block that can be applied from the block editor or within the form builder. First of all, you need to once you're logged in, go to all the forms, then head over to settings. Once you're in the WPForms settings, ensure that the modern markup is enabled. Why? The modern markup in WPForms allow number one helps to increase accessibility, and it allows you to customize your forms in the block editor. Once you're done with that, you go back to all the forms, and for the demonstration, I'm going to create a form. So I'm going to add a form, and for this form, I'll just say form styling demo. For that, I'm going to just pick the simple contact form, and I will save that form. So if I preview the form, this is how our form looks like on front end. But now we are supposed to change a few colors on this form. So the first thing that we're going to do is head over to settings, then go to themes. Now, once you're in the form themes page, this is actually where you can be able to apply styles. And right here, you can preview, but it does not reflect the actual fields on your form, but it's actually showing how it will look like. For example, I will begin by, let's say that we want to, okay, let's begin at the very top. We want to change the font type, font style. I want all the fonts of the film to be large. So you'll notice that the label has increased. And after that, let's say that we want to have some border. Let's say that we need some dash border. So you will notice that the input fill elements has some dashed border, or you can say that you want none. But I would prefer solid. After applying that, let's say that we want the border size, now the size of the input fill. Let's say that we want, you can change it. Let's say that we want in something like 5 pixel. So you'll see that it's actually a big huge. And the border radius, you can be able to change right here. Let's say that we want something like 20 pixel, which is okay. And the border color, the good thing about this, you can be able to pick the color, but for this purpose, I'm going to just choose such color that is black. Is okay for me. And the text, I'll also choose black. All right, so that is okay. For the background, we can leave it as white for now. Now we're going to change the label styles. So for the labels, you can say that we need it similar as large, and we can be able to change all that. Let's say the validation error, red is okay, by default is okay for that. Now we're going to go to the button. This is actually the button. So for the button, let's say that we want, let's say none. All right. Then we can increase the border radius to something like 5 pixel. Rather, 10 will make sense. It will be visible for us. Then the size, we're going to set it to large, so you can be able to see that. And from there, now we're going to change the container styles. For example, you need some padding. Let's say we need some 10 pixel padding. So you'll see that it has applied some padding around all the containers. But for this, I'm going to leave it as 0. Then we're going to say which kind of border that we want it style around the container element. So if you say solid, you'll see now that you will have some sort of solid. So for this to look better, it will need some good padding. So I'm going to have something like 20 pixel. That is okay, which will be applied radwise. And I can say for this, I will need some border radius of our container to 10 pixel. And I don't need the border, I don't need the shadow, but you can see if you say you need a large shadow, it will have the drop shadow. But for me, I'm okay without it. And now we're going to have the background style. So now this is actually the background style. For this, you can either choose the image as the background of your entire form, or you can choose a color. So I'm going to save this. So after saving, by default, the form preview should reload. So as you can see, it makes sense, it's better. If I attempt to submit, you'll see the validation color is actually red, and you will see that we have a border around the container, the form container, and this is actually 10 pixels. So that is how now to apply the form style. The better part about the submit button is you can be able to change that style. So you'll just scroll down. So you'll need to scroll up to the button style. And for this, we need a large one. And let's say we need a border around the button. And for that border, let's say we need something like 2 pixels. And for it to make sense, we'll need some border color. And for this, I'm going to add it as black for now, just for distinction to demonstrate how it looks like. And for the border text, let's say that I need this color. All right. So you'll see that we have that. And let's say that the background color, we can be able to change. And I'm going to select something around this. It's okay for now. Then we're going to save this. After saving, we will be able to see. This is actually how it looks like. So that is actually how to style the form from the form builder by going to the form styles within the settings. So the next thing that I'm supposed to do now is to create another form. Then I will embed and demonstrate how you can be able to style from the block editor. So I'm going to close this. Then this is style from block editor. All right. I'll choose the same simple contact. I'm going to save this. Then I will embed. And for this, I'll say that I just need a new page styling. Then create. It will take a minute. After creating, it will embed the form by default for us. So I'm going to publish this. After publishing it, I'm going to view that. So this is actually how our form looks like. But if you click on WP Forms, then you close this and you go to the block in the side right here, you will be able to see the same styles that we had from the block editor. And from here, we can be able now to do all that styling. For example, we can choose a theme. For example, I can say that I need this Oceanic theme. It looks good. Let me see that. All right. So that is no. I think this looks much better. And for these, we can say the fill styles. We need them as very large. And border, I want us to try without. After having it without, we'll come back to this page. Then I will reload. You'll see that it does not really make that sense unless somebody knows that there are fill inputs around that. I think that it's much better to have some border style around our theme. So I'll say that we need a solid. And as soon as you have it as a solid, you will have the ability to change the border style, or rather the border size. And for this, you can define in terms of the pixel, the percentage, the EM, REM, and all that. And for better response, you can use something like percentage. The border style is something like, let's say 2.5%. And for the border radius, let's say that something like 50%. I think that 50% doesn't look good. Something like 4% is much better. Then you can be able to change the colors, the color of the borders. So you can click on that. Then you can say that we need that color for our border. Or you can say that you need a yellow. Or you can say you need that is a transparent. Or you can have that. So I think that is okay. Then now the background, you can be able to, let's say that is actually the background. So if in the event you're using none, so it is better to have some background. Because if you set the background to your form, this is actually how it will look like. Somebody will know. But now you need to change the placeholder text. So it will come the text color right here and have it something like white. Having it as white, it will be much better. But again, for this form to make sense, I think it will be better if you have some placeholder text. For example, you'll come to the name, go to advanced, and set, let's say, the default value, or rather the placeholder, your first name, You come to the email right here. You can also do the same thing, your email, your message and all that. So I'm going to save this. After saving it, I will refresh the page, so you'll see that it will make sense to that. But for me, I prefer having some border around the I prefer having some border style around it. So that is it. So if you say the menu, you can be able to set the color, the base color for that. And now if you come to the labels, you can be able to set the size of the label if you need them very large. And you can set the color of the sub label. For example, if you see the name, it has the first and last, which is actually the sub label. And we can say that we need the same color as that. As soon as we save this and you come back to this, you'll see that it has updated the color of the sub label, which looks good. So I'll go back to the block editor. I'll click on this, then go to that. And so that is okay. The label sizes, you can be able to set the label. We've already seen that int, error, and all that. That is still okay. For int, is something like if you have an email fill in your form, as we already have, there is this option for suggestion. For example, if we say that this is, let's say, let me use a test at something like mike.co.ke. So if I use that, it will ask me, do you mean that? So this is actually an int. But to disable that, as we mentioned in our very first video, you can click on disable the suggestion. But this is actually how to change the color of an int in WP form. So if you scroll to the very bottom, similar to the form builder, you can be able to set for the element style as we've already done. You can also do the styling for the background. For example, you can say I need a media library, and let's say I need it centered. I don't want it repeated. I need it that. So I don't want to choose from media library. Let's say that I want to choose from stock. So I'll do yes. So you'll see, in order to use the stock, an image library must be downloaded and installed. So for that, you'll need to continue. What it will do, it will install, then it will allow you to pick. For me, I'm going to pick something like, I think I love this color. It looks better. Something like that. Save it. The advantage of form styles in WP Forms, it will help you pick either an image from the WordPress media library or the stock images, but I would highly recommend that you pick based on the styling of your themes. For me, I'm using the default WordPress 2025 theme, but I understand that it may vary depending on how your WordPress themes look like. So the advantage to that, you can play with the choices so that you can be able to build an amazing form. So after doing that, I will drop that. Then if you go to advanced, right here, if you want to reset, you can remove this and that. And one of the things that I don't want to mention is the form style when applied through the block, or rather the block editor, it is not global, meaning it will not be inherited. Unlike in the event, for example, let me go to this. We have this form that we'd already styled. Let's say that I want to add that WP forms. All right, then I'm going to select that form, that is form styling demo style. Then I'll come to this page to view. One of the things you will notice is that this is actually saved globally. However, if I create another page, let's say we're going to create a demo page, and select WP Forms widget, then select the style from block editor, then you publish and view. So one of the things you will see is that it has no styles, because style in WP Forms is not global. Meaning if you want the same style that was applied on this to be applied on that form, what you're supposed to do is you click on this, then go to advanced and copy this. If you copy this style and you go to this other one and close, then you say WP Forms, scroll to the very bottom right there and you paste. So you will see now that is how to replace the style. However, if you are looking to have a universal styling across all your forms, so I will highly recommend that you do the styling, the form builder. So that is it. So see you next time. Thank you.